Hey class, today we're looking at addition. We're going to go over a couple of methods, but before we do, let's talk about what addition is. Addition is simply when you have a part and you have a part of something and then you end up putting them together to figure out the whole. We call the answer to this the sum, because it is the sum of all of the parts put back together. So we are going to look at a couple of different methods today. If you're already confident in an addition method or strategy, you can go ahead and keep using that eventually, but today I want you to try the ones that I show you just in case it ends up working better for you. So the first method that we're going to look at is something called the partial sum method. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right up here with the partial sum method. So the first problem that we are going to do is 46 plus 37. Now, from the answer, you can see partial means just a part of it. Sum is the answer. So we're just going to find a part of the answer at a time, and then we'll put those together. So the way we're going to do that is you're always going to take the farthest out place value. You're going to add those together first. So we see our farthest out place values here are, we have the tens place and the tens place here. So we're going to add those together. So a 4 plus a 3, which really stands for 40 plus 30. We're going to get a 70 for that. Then we have a 6 plus a 7, since it's in the ones place, that is just a 6 and a 7. 6 plus 7 is going to give us 13. So when we add together 70 and 13, we end up getting 83, just like that. So I'm going to put another problem up here. Let's go over another example before I ask you to do it yourself. So the next one is going to be 233. Plus 158. So notice that we're out into the hundreds place now. We're going to start over there. So we have a couple of numbers in the hundreds place. This is 200 plus 100. 200 plus 100 is going to give us 300. You may also notice that what we're doing is kind of the 2 plus the 1, and then everything else becomes a 0 there. Very similar to what we had done when we were talking about the value of digits. So then we go to the tens place. We have a 30 plus a 50 is going to give us an 80. Again, you can see it's just kind of 3 plus 5, and everything else becomes a 0 there. Then we have a 3 plus an 8. That one gets a little more tricky because we end up with an 11. So we don't just put a 1 with a bunch of zeros, we actually write our 11 there. When we add all those together, you can see in this method it gives you some very easy addition then to do here. So you end up with a 1, a 9, and a 3 for 391. So I'm going to put a problem up here. Then I'm going to have you pause your video and try it out for yourself. So the problem I would like for you to try is 85 plus 69. So partial sum method, I would like you to pause your video and try that now. Remember, try this method. Okay, you should have had a moment to figure that out. Remember, we're going to start with the farthest left place value, the largest place values we have. We have an 8 plus a 6, so 80 plus 40. That's going to give us a 14, which is really 140. 5 plus 9 is going to give us another 14. So we're actually going to write that in there just like that. We add those together, we end up with 154. So I want you to look at yours, see if you got that right answer, pause for just a moment, and make sure that we are on the same page there. Alright, so that was partial sum strategy. If you'd like to try it a little bit more, you could just make up some problems. If you need to check them with a calculator to see if you got them right, that's fine. I want you to learn the strategy and see if it works for you. We're going to try another strategy now called the traditional method, or the traditional strategy. This is probably the one that most of your parents grew up learning. It works very, very well if you understand what's going on. So the first problem we're going to do is 327 plus 252. So in the traditional method, we're just going to start over at the smallest place values, and we're going to slowly work our way over. The difference is going to be if we end up going over a 10, we're going to have to trade or carry. There's a lot of different words that people use for it, but hopefully we can figure out what that means exactly. We're not going to see any of that in this example, but we will in some of the next examples. So we have 7 plus 2, that gives us 9. So I just write it right under the column. 2 plus 5 is 7. 3 plus 2 is 5. And we have 579. Okay, pretty straightforward. Let's go to the next example. We're going to do 57 plus 44. So when we look at this one, again, we're going to start in the lowest place values over here in the ones place in this particular problem. We're going to do 7 plus 4. That's going to give us an 11. That's where we run into an issue. That's why we have to know what place value is. When we have that 11, I'm going to write 11 right here. Hopefully we recognize that that's a 1 in the ones place and a 1 in the tens place. So in the traditional method, I'm only recording what goes in the ones place here. So I'm going to put my 1 here, and then I have another 10. So I'm going to write that above here. I like to circle it so I don't forget about it. You don't have to circle it if you don't want to, but I have found that it's a great strategy for me. Now I'm going to add that in with these as I add them together. So I have 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 4 is 10. I can write 10 here. And my answer is 101. So I'm going to erase that one now. Put up another example for you to try. I would like for you to try 277 plus 165. 277 plus 165, write that down now. Pause your video and try it out. Traditional strategy. Alright, you should have had a moment to figure that out. This is what the traditional strategy would look like. We're going to start over here in the ones place. 7 plus 5 is going to give me 12. When I think about 12, that's a 2 in the ones place and a 1 in the tens place. Then I can add these. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 6, I'm going to count on. So you have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that gets me up to 14. 14, the 4 is going to go here. The 1 is going to go here. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. I end up with 442. Okay. Let's do one more example. You can just make it up. If you need more examples than what I'm showing you now, go ahead and just make them up. You can do random numbers if you want. We can do 4, 5, 6 plus 7, 8, 9. So go ahead, pause your video, and give that one a try. Alright, let's look at our method here. Check out our strategy. Starting over here in the ones place once again. 6 plus 9. I know if I take 1 from that 6 and put it on that 9, that gives me a 10. So I know that's going to be 15. 15, the 5 goes here, the 1 goes up. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 8 is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 7 is 12. Count 1, 2, 3 spots. I put my comma. 1,245. So I want you to write down right now a couple of things. Number one, I want you to write down, do you feel like you are beginning, developing, or secure when it comes to addition with multi-digit numbers such as this? I also want you to write down which method or strategy you currently find easier to use. And I'll get that information from you tomorrow. So if you need to try some more problems, go ahead and try it. Otherwise, write down that information and be ready.